The Syracuse men are playing tomorrow, and the Syracuse women are playing on Sunday. I was a proud senator from New York for 8 years, and I know the Orange need our support.
Hillary Clinton on the campaign trail in the state of New York, offering her support to Syracuse in its postseason basketball action. But you know, the former Secretary of State may not be able to watch those Syracuse games. She ought to it's probably good advice for her to huddle with her lawyers this weekend, as reportedly she will be meeting with FBI Director James Comey in the coming days for a formal interview concerning all her emails. Attorney General Loretta Lynch has said she's waiting for a recommendation from the FBI about whether anyone should be charged in this email scandal. Here to talk more about it, Ron Hosko, with a law enforcement legal fund and a former assistant director of the FBI. Ron, we appreciate your time. When do you think this meeting is going to take place?
JD, as you know, these cases are not built from the top down, they're built from the bottom up. And so I would expect that meeting, unless the FBI really has solid evidence pointing right to Mrs. Clinton today or before the interview, that we are still in the process of building up to it. And that would include prior interviews of her top staffers so that they are fully informed, that they have very little that's left to doubt in their minds, and so that they can conduct an interview that has the right depth, challenges her in the right ways. So I think we're a little bit behind it right now. I don't expect to see that immediately.
When it does happen, Ron, I'm kind of curious. There have been two interpretations of FBI Director Comey saying he's going to do this personally. One thing is Comey is a no-nonsense guy who'll go by the book. The other notion is, in the world of Washington, when you have the head guy go, that interview is more of a courtesy. Your interpretation of the FBI Director going to interview the Secretary of State?
I frankly, JD, think I would be surprised if that happened. The FBI Director has a 30-plus thousand person organization to run terrorism cases in every state, in every field office, international activity, criminal activity across the board. He is busy, and I think you need people who are down further in the weeds rather than take up days of the FBI Director's time to get him up to speed, to brief him. As smart and capable as Jim Comey is, that is, to me, not the role of the FBI Director. So I would be surprised if it happens that way. I think some of this might be speculation, like we've heard speculation about the timing of an indictment.
Just one final question. Politico is reporting that 4 of Mrs. Clinton's aides are using the same lawyer, former DOJ lawyer, to represent them. Now, does this united front mean they're trying to keep their story straight, or they're not really worried about getting indicted?
Well, I think that's happened before, where one lawyer seeks to represent multiple people, some of whom are going to have conflicting interests. So that suggests to me that a judge has not yet opined on whether one counsel can represent multiple people because of potential conflicts. And I would expect to see that broken apart, because as you know, as you work up the food chain, you start to get some of this, people pointing back and forth at each other, and you need more than one counsel for that.
To be continued. Ron Hosko, thanks for your time on this Friday night. Now, time for the way you see it, your comments via social media. First, it's Dwayne, who writes, JD, I love your show. I love the way you don't pull any punches. I just want to say we, the people, have a great big welfare problem in this country, and Washington, D.C. politicians do what they want, regardless of what we say most of the time, and tax us for it. Is this not taxation without representation? We need to reform this whole government. And Patricia, talking about the Hillary Clinton email scandal, writes, Hillary will never be indicted. The DOJ would never do it per Obama's instructions. These guys are living in a fantasy world if they think they'll do this, or they would do her any harm whatsoever. You got comments for me? Send them to me at newsmaxtv.com/comments or via Twitter at Newsmax Prime. That'll do it. Have a great weekend. Stay brave, stay free, stay tuned.